I have to check my immigration status after making these empanadas. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making the most delicious Colombian empanadas. I'm telling you, this is the only empanada recipe you will ever need because it's just that good. Seriously. When you bite into these empanadas, it's going to be like you're traveling to another land, another world. But in order to make these empanadas as authentic as possible, I'm going to be making some homemade sauces that I normally make with my empanadas, and Sofrito is one of them. So I used to buy the store-bought Sofrito by Goya, but I'm telling you, if you do that, just stop doing that. Stop doing that, because if you make it fresh, it's going to make your dish taste even like out of this world, 100 times better. The jarred ones just don't have the same flavor as, making it fresh. So do that. It's very easy, very simple. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So for my sofrito, I have 1 chopped white onion, 1 green bell pepper, along with a red bell pepper and an orange one, 1 bunch of cilantro, 1 cup of garlic. For my seasoning, I have 1 tablespoon of sea salt, 1/4 teaspoon black pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. And I'm going to be using the juice of 1 1/2 lime to make the sofrito. So let's get the blending. So I'm adding all of my ingredients along with a 1/2 cup of water into a blender. And this is a lot of peppers and onions and cilantro, so you're going to have to add some into the blender, and then once that's blended, then add the rest. You can also use a food processor if you don't have a blender. Now that that's blended, I'm adding my seasoning, the rest of my cilantro and peppers, and the sofrito is done. And when I eat empanadas, I like to have a sauce to eat it with, so either put some sriracha on it or I'll make some chimichurri. But this time I'm making an ají picante sauce. I think I said that right. Ají picante, I don't know, but I know it tastes delicious. And I put jalapenos in mine, and tomatoes and cilantro, and it's really good, so let me show you how to make that. So to make the ají picante sauce, you're going to need 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 to 2 seeded jalapeno peppers. I'm using 2 because I like it spicy. The juice of 1 whole lime, 1/4 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil, a 1/2 cup of white vinegar, 3/4 cups of cilantro, a 1/2 cup of green onions, and diced tomatoes. So to make this easier, I'm going to blend the jalapeno, the water, and the vinegar. And it shows 1 jalapeno pepper here, but I did end up adding 2 to make it more spicy. Once that's done, I added my remaining ingredients except for the tomato. And I'm not going to blend it, I'm just going to pulse it because you don't want it to get pureed. You just want it to have that chopped look to it. Notice how I'm not fully blending it. Once it's done, now we're going to add our tomatoes and mix that in. Now that all of our sauces are made, it is time to make the empanadas. So for the empanadas, I'm going to be using the Impossible meat. I absolutely love this meat alternative because it tastes exactly like beef. It's my favorite so far. It's amazing. So if you haven't tried the Impossible meat, then definitely give that a try because it is so worth it. So the first thing I did was boil 3 Yukon Gold potatoes, and now I'm adding a 1/2 packet of sazon onto them. I'm also sprinkling on about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. And now I'm going in with my potato masher, and I'm not going to mash it up like mashed potatoes, but just until it's combined. Then I'm going to give it a mix, and I'm going to let it sit aside to cool while I prepare the rest of the filling. So here I have in a skillet 1/4 cup of diced white onion. I just let that cook down for about 5 minutes until it was golden brown. Now I'm adding 1/4 cup of chopped green onion and 1 cup of diced tomatoes and a 1/2 diced red pepper. I added in 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, and I let that cook down for about 2 minutes. Now I'm adding in the Impossible meat. I let that brown for about 5 minutes. Then I added in 1 1/2 packets of this sazon. I also added in some black pepper and garlic powder. Just sprinkle a little bit in. Now I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of my homemade sofrito into the mixture. I'm telling you, this is going to make a world of difference when it comes to flavor. After that, I put the lid on it and I let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now that everything's done, I'm adding the vegan meat mixture into the potato mixture, and I'm just going to gently combine it. And at this point, you want to taste it to see if you need to add any extra seasonings. I normally just end up adding some sea salt because Sazon does have salt in it and I don't want to overdo it, so I just sprinkle in some sea salt at this point. Now, being that I'm making these empanadas Colombian style, I'm not going to be using the Goya white flour empanada wrapper that I normally use. I'm going to be making the dough from scratch using corn flour. And make sure that it's pre-cooked corn flour. I'm using the one by Pan, P-A-N. So make sure that you're using corn masa, not corn flour like you're making cornbread, because it's not going to work. It's completely different. It has to be pre-cooked corn flour. So let's get into that. So I ended up using 3 cups of this pre-cooked corn flour and 2 3/4 cups of lukewarm veggie broth. You can use lukewarm water, but I definitely recommend using the Better Than Bouillon veggie broth because it has a really good flavor. I use the Better Than Bouillon veggie paste. I'm adding in a half packet of Sazon. Making the dough is actually very easy. You can't really go wrong with it. If it's too liquidy, then just add more corn flour. If it's not liquidy enough, then add a little bit more veggie broth until you get a doughy consistency like this. Once you get this consistency, you can start kneading it with your hands until everything is combined. And then you have your dough. So for the next step, I'm taking a gallon size Ziploc bag and I'm just cutting the sides. As you can see, I have some scissors. I'm cutting this side and I'm flipping it over and I'm cutting the other side so it can open up. Now our Ziploc bag is like this. So I'm taking some of the dough and I'm going to make a ball. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just make a ball. And I'm placing it on the center of the Ziploc bag. In the top layer, I'm going to fold over the ball. And now I'm going to get a plate and gently press down until the dough flattens. Now I'm taking a small amount of filling and I'm going to place it on the center of the empanada disc. And I'm going to take the bottom of the Ziploc bag and gently fold it over. Make sure all the sides are sealed. And to make sure that it's even more sealed, I'm going to take a bowl and just put it over the filling and then slice the rest of the top off with the bowl. That's how you know it's sealed. So all of my empanadas are assembled. Now I'm going to place some of them in my deep fryer at 360 degrees and I'm going to fry them for 2 minutes. If you're frying these in a pan, then 2 minutes on each side. Bye bye empanadas! I wish you can smell my kitchen right now. It smells, I don't want to say delicious or amazing because those words don't do it justice. It's incredible. Okay, I'm gonna try it. They're nice and crispy. Look at that. Just look at that. Mm-mm. You know what? I have to check my immigration status after making these empanadas. These are absolutely amazing. You need to make this. Please give it a try. Get some of that sauce, that spicy, dip it in there. I need more of it. Hold on. I need to get my spoon. Look at that. Has potatoes and meat and peppers and onions and tomatoes. Okay, seriously, that recipe was so easy to make. Yes, when you make all the sauces and you're making the dough from scratch, it's gonna take some time to make it, but don't be intimidated by it. It's very easy. Even making the dough is easy, and assembling the empanadas. So please do yourself a favor, do your taste buds a favor, and make these empanadas. They're so good. You will not regret it. And I want to say thank you so much for watching. I'd appreciate it if you like, commented, and subscribe, and hit the bell button so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. I'm going to finish these empanadas because I have to.